I used to spend 8+ hours for every single month of producing a podcast. That is 1 to 2 hours each and every episode just on research for my podcast. Now, this whole process takes me about 10 minutes. So I cut 2 hours of each podcast down to 10 minutes. And for the whole podcast production, I barely need to press 3 buttons. And in this video, I'll show you the ClickUp AI setup that has made this magic happen and now allows me to be ready with questions for my guest without spending 2 hours on every single episode. As you can see, we are in the submission form. Right here in my podcast submission list within ClickUp, we have a ton of applications right in here. Each of these applications includes a bio, a website, and a few business and personal questions that get filled in directly from the application form. Now, before I dive into the process of building this AI agent and how to integrate it into that existing workflow, the existing podcast workflow is exactly what I need to bring up here. This is not something that you can implement if you are not already following our process. We have the podcast process right here, and you need to ensure before you keep watching that you have your podcast process running in ClickUp, that you are collecting your guest information with a ClickUp form, and simply just follow the process that I've been teaching here on my channel. As I said, you have this ready yet, right? Cool, because that means now you are already halfway through the process of all of this. Now look, if you are running a podcast, you know the research grind. Researching guests' background, their expertise areas, recent projects, any special touches that makes the episode special and engaging. It all adds up fast. And I was spending a minimum of 1 hour each episode, often up to 2 hours just on prep work to research my guests and get all the information I needed to show up as a great host. And that's time I could have been spending on revenue generating activities or just take a vacation. The next step from the submission is me inviting them. We have the recording running. You watched the process video on this? Cool. You know what's happening. Once they scheduled, you know I need to choose them as recording scheduled. So the moment I mark them as recording scheduled, that entry, that specific podcast guest moves from my submission list into my scheduled list. And right here now is where the magic happens. I build a ClickUp AI agent that does all the research for me automatically. Just done. No typing into ChatGPT, no copying and pasting. Nope. ClickUp AI agent takes care of all the work. And the real magic is I didn't even have to change my podcast process. Nope. We simply just added an additional step into our existing podcast process that runs the AI agent, and ClickUp just preps all the personalized questions for me and has them ready for me when I'm getting prepped 10 minutes, 15 minutes before the actual podcast recording. With them being scheduled, there is a couple of things going. I know I'm repeating myself, but you watched the video. Yeah? Cool. Part of that is also when a task is moved into this location, meaning I mark them as recording a schedule, means that task, that guest resource, that guest information was moved in here. And now my AI agent starts to work. This AI agent specifically has given the information of what my podcast is, what to do. So it goes through, hey, I need you to create a strategic interview questions for the She is a Leader podcast. So ChatGPT, right in ClickUp, knows which podcast this is. It needs to know who it's working for. It also has been told that it will find all of the information within the custom fields in the description. I give it my target market, so the questions are specifically focused to answer the question that my target market has and matters to them. Then we go through, please analyze their website, generate 10 to 12 questions, format each question in a specific way, include a mix of personal, systems, mindset, and practical questions, And then here is an example on what I want this to look like, giving me the links, all of the stuff, all of the things that it needs to know to do its job right. All the information I give it is within the scheduled list, and it has access to web browsing feature. And that's it. So every single time we move a episode, a guest in here to be recorded, what it does is the AI agent runs, and then next to a whole bunch of other automations, as you can see, what it does is, there it is, giving me 12 questions for Goldie. Great episode coming up, by the way, with personal questions, transformative questions, systems, and framework. And what I do is I copy and paste all of these in the description so I can do a little bit of text changes and specific questions that I really want to highlight right in here. And that's how simple it really is to run this. And not only that, yes, I've shown you this in our example as a podcast producer, as a podcast host that generates weekly episodes with amazing women, but you can also use this. Same AI system works for client research, for hiring somebody and background checking them, find them on social media. Let this same research agent do similar work, or a competitor analysis. Any repetitive research task that's eating your time can be automated the same way. As you know me, yes, the best system is the one you actually use and the one you customize to yourself. So you've seen how we prompted our AI agent in ClickUp. Customize your own agent. Don't just use the one size fits all. Customize it to you and set up your own dedicated AI agent right in ClickUp. Yes, AI is smart. Yes, AI can do a lot of things, but it needs your input to really have your brand voice, to polish, to give you the output that you want. So make sure you really review the questions and adjust your AI prompt if needed. The better your initial form questions are, the better your prompt is, the better the AI agent's output is. One of the big things here, podcast host pro tip, ask for no-goes. What do they definitely not want to talk about? And yes, AI agent will follow those instructions and skip those topics. You ready to save 8 hours every month and let ClickUp AI handle the work? Let me know in the comments. What is your biggest research time waster? I read every single comment and you might just inspire the next video. Want to dive deeper into time-saving automations in ClickUp? Check out this video right here where I talk about how I saved 5 hours a week with ClickUp automations. And remember, true success is when your business keeps growing even while you are on vacation or digital nomading. This ClickUp AI research agent workflow is just the first step. I'll see you in the next one.